clown. Starmer making a fool of himself during PMQ as Boris claims victory with little to no effort. Keir Starmer has been blasted over the Labour leader's performance during Prime Minister's questions. Keir Starmer's performance at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday has been savaged by political commentators Matt Chorley and Patrick Maguire on Times Radio. The duo provided a brutal appraisal of the Labour leader's political skills, with Mr. Chorley declaring Sir Keir lacks a little bit of political stardust. His co-host agreed with Mr. Maguire, arguing that the leader of the opposition lacks a fourth gear. Mr. Chorley told his Times Radio co-host, "You're right, there's something about the cream on the cake or the cherry on the top of the cake. Keir Starmer lacks that last little bit of political stardust." Mr. Maguire added, "Somebody put it to me, a former aide to Tony Blair, put it to me like this when discussing with them over email a while ago, a recent Starmer appearance in the comments, and they just put it really succinctly. They said he doesn't have a fourth gear. You know, he can tumble through the first three gears really, really ably. But when you want to put pedal to the metal, he just can't do it." He continued, "This sounds like an ad hominem, but you can always hear it in his voice, kind of, you know, it goes up an octave and it sounds like Paul Heating from the House Martins without the tunefulness, and it just doesn't really work. He just doesn't have it, if you know what I mean." It comes as Sir Keir was attacked over the timing of the Labour leader's cabinet reshuffle. Sir Keir launched a clean-out of his top team earlier this week, just as the Labour Party's deputy leader Angela Rayner was due to give a speech attacking the Conservative Party over sleaze amid the Westminster scandal over MPs holding lucrative second jobs. The move left political pundits like UK in a changing Europe's and Menon questioning the Labour leader's management skills. Mr. Menon told LBC, "Just the timing to do this in such a way as to cut across a speech by your deputy leader on the issue on which you're actually getting some cut through against the government, which is sleaze, just struck me as appallingly bad management, I have to say." He added, "Even if it was deliberate, it was a personal slight to your deputy leader rather than something that was thinking about the future of the Labour Party as a whole. Because it strikes me that actually, there is an attack line that is working now on sleaze that Labour are using. And the headlines of the Angela Rayner speech could have been Labour are putting forward proposals to tidy up sleaze in politics. Rather than headlines, we've got Starmer undercuts Angela Rayner." On a more detailed note regarding the PMQ, Labour's leader had got himself into a lather about a claim that the Prime Minister hosted a boozy leaving party at Downing Street a year ago during the second lockdown. As stories go, it was pretty stale potatoes. Possibly not even interesting in the first place. Sir Keir didn't see it that way. No, these were the goods. Nothing worse in the eyes of a proponent of petty officialdom than a rule breaker. This is a man, one suspects, who scowls at fellow plane passengers who fail to listen to the in-flight safety instructions. Boris insisted the party had all been above board. He made a crack about Labour's deputy leader Angela Rayner not being invited to her boss's Christmas party. With Sir Keir in charge of the eggnog. Lucky escape for Orange if you ask me. Starmer smirked. "Nice try," he said, turning to his colleagues like a pub raconteur telling a bawdy gag. He was insistent the PM had broken the rules. He had a copy of them with him, of course he did, which he waved around proudly. Good Lord, were they laminated? Boris flapped a dismissive paw and pondered the relevance of something which happened 12 months ago. Extra emphasis was placed on the 12. Starmer was dribbling on irrelevantly, he said. Sir Keir tapped danced excitedly. "He's not denied it," yelled the great inquisitor. As Sir Keir persevered with this line of questioning, one wondered what was bothering him more. Was it the possible breach of rules? Or was it the idea of people having fun? His party isn't big on all that